Folks, the Iowa Firearms Coalition, in conjunction with Senate leadership, is actively working to kill the biggest pro-gun bill in Iowa this session. Aaron Dory here, guys, at Iowa Gun Owners. You don't even have to take my word for it because, folks, this time we have the entire thing on tape.
We'll just roll it. Here we go.
Here's the latest. So on March 5, the Iowa House passed House File 2718, our bill to ban red flag gun seizures in Iowa. The vote was fantastic, 67-29. And that was due to three primary things. First, your emails, because they heard you. Second, the leadership of Bobby Kaufman, Steve Holt, and Skylar Wheeler, who made this bill a priority. And third, the fact that nobody even opposed the bill in subcommittee. I'll come back to that in a few moments. This bill has been lingering now for the last 10 days or so in the Judiciary Committee in the Senate until Tuesday when it was referred to a subcommittee. That subcommittee met yesterday, and the good news is the subcommittee advanced the bill on a vote of 2-1. The bad news is the full committee, led by Chairman Jason Schultz, clearly intends to hold this bill back, run the clock out, and kill it for the year. They said as much yesterday in subcommittee. It's urgent. Whatever else you do, you hit the link beneath this video and email the entire committee with one mouse click and tell them to pass House File 2718 as is right away. Here's a brief recap on what this bill would do. Most of you know what a red flag law is by now, I believe. It allows the government to seize our firearms before I've ever even been charged, let alone convicted of a crime. These are almost always done in secret ex parte hearings, which means the first time most gun owners learn about this is when the cops are knocking on their door to confiscate their firearms. This bill would ban red flag gun seizures in Iowa. House File 2718 would prevent Iowans from being red flagged by requiring a conviction for a violent felony crime or being out on bail after being charged with a violent felony crime before your guns could ever be taken away. Both of these situations ensure our day in court. It ensures we can have counsel present, confront witnesses, bring our own evidence, and it ends the idea that a judge could simply grab our firearms through a secret court hearing. Now, to ensure that the Democrat-run cities and counties here in Iowa abide by the law, HF 2718 also has civil penalties. That way, if you're ever red flagged in violation of this law, you could sue the agency who broke the law for civil damages. It puts all the power in your hands directly. This isn't new either. It's new in Iowa, but Wyoming has this law on the books. Texas has a version of this. So does Montana. Again, it's not new. It's just new here in Iowa. So it sounds like we're on the right track, right? No, wrong. The answer is wrong. You see, the anti-gun lobbyists can see this bill is moving, and they came out hard against the bill in subcommittee yesterday. The Iowa County Attorneys opposed the bill. The Iowa Coalition Against Domestic Violence opposed the bill. But that's normal. These are all left-leaning lobby shops. We've dealt with this for the last 18 years here in Des Moines. No, that wasn't the problem. The problem was the Iowa Firearms Coalition, who have been protecting establishment politicians for a very long time here in Des Moines. They also came out against the bill. I want to say it again. The Iowa Firearms Coalition officially testified against this bill in subcommittee yesterday. Richard Rogers, the old lobbyist for the Iowa Firearms Coalition, has oftentimes opposed pro-gun bills that he did not write. He opposed the Second Amendment Preservation Act. He's opposed versions of enhanced stand your ground law. And now he's opposing the bill that would ban red flag gun seizures in Iowa. More on that in a moment. Now, the outcome is clear. The two Republicans on the subcommittee, Sioux County's Jeff Taylor and Cherokee County's Lynn Evans, both said they would approve the bill in subcommittee, but they made it very clear they're going to work to nuke it in the full committee. And Chairman Jason Schultz just happened to stop by this subcommittee, and he sat there grinning and nodding his head the entire time. This is the same Chairman Schultz who's been killing pro-gun bills that came out of the House for the last year and a half. Folks, the fix is in against this bill unless they hear from gun owners. Immediately hit that link and make your voice heard. So here's what the Iowa Firearms Coalition said, because again, this time, folks, we have the entire thing on video. Before I play the clips, I want to paint the scene. This is a small, dinky room, room 315, up on the third floor in the Iowa Senate, or Senate side. Small room filled full of anti-gun lobbyists. Most of them spoke for 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Most of them deferred directly to the Iowa Firearms Coalition and sat there grinning their asses off while a gun rights organization led testimony against the bill to ban red flags here in Iowa. So here's some of the arguments that IFC's lobbyist, Richard Rogers, made against the bill. First, he says that the Iowa Firearms, this is so dangerous, catch this part very closely. He says the Iowa Firearms Coalition opposes red flag laws only if they don't have due process protections. Listen to it yourself.
IFC strongly supports Second Amendment rights and opposes any red flag laws that seizes firearms from law-abiding citizens without robust due process.
So what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that as long as the ex parte provision is gone, as long as we can be in the courtroom when the judge orders our guns confiscated, the Iowa Firearms Coalition is just fine with that. Here's the position of Iowa gun owners. We don't care if we're present in the courtroom to see our gun rights shredded. It's unconstitutional to ever take firearms from anybody in this country without a conviction in court for a disqualifying offense. How in the world can the Iowa Firearms Coalition be okay with any form of red flag gun seizures? If you're one of their members, you should ask them that question. Secondly, Rogers tries to become the intellectual in the room, and he says that the bill is flawed, that it has supremacy clause problems. Check it out.
Supremacy clause conflict, likely unconstitutionality. It directs state and local officials not to enforce certain federal judicial orders or statutes.
Okay, so first of all, someone needs to take ChatGPT away from Richard because everyone can tell he's simply reading AI slop out loud in subcommittee. But no, this is either moronically stupid or it's a lie. There's no other option. The Supremacy Clause says the states cannot limit what the federal government can do at the state level. It does not say the states can be bossed around by the federal government. There's about a dozen Supreme Court cases that back this up, going back at least 150 years. So this bill does not tell the feds what they can and cannot do. It simply tells the feds Iowa cops will not be enforcing state or federal red flag laws. That is entirely within Iowa's purview. Third, and this is perhaps the biggest lie we heard all day. Number 3, the Iowa Firearms Coalition says that banning red flags would stop Iowa peace officers from being able to enforce existing gun laws. Check out this stupid clip.
This could inadvertently classify legitimate Iowa statutes and orders as prohibited red flag laws, not only to mention the domestic violence, but also 724.4E on minors possessing loaded firearms within a city or in a vehicle. It's not included, and yet you wouldn't want to not be able to enforce that.
What about that? I wonder. Gee shucks. Do you think maybe we ever thought about that when the bill was filed? What about Chairman Holt, the guy who's done more for gun voters and gun owners in Iowa for the last 15 years than anybody alive today? Do you think maybe Chairman Holt had a conversation with us about that? Oh, yeah, that's right. We did. And it's right here on page 2, lines 11 through 13. I'll read it for you. It says, nothing in this section shall be construed to prevent a firearm, firearm accessory, or ammunition from being seized as evidence by law enforcement in the course of an investigation. Pretty easy to see. Pretty black and white. So what is it? Did the Iowa Firearms Coalition lie about the bill, not read the bill, or just rely on ChatGPT for their stupid arguments? I don't know. But either way, Richard Rogers lied through his teeth in this hearing yesterday. But then there's more. There's always more, right? But then Rogers goes truly off the rails. He says we don't need this law because there isn't a federal red flag law yet. Listen to this.
It's ineffective at achieving its stated goals because there is no federal red flag law. There are many structural impediments and constitutional impediments to enacting a federal red flag law. And so we're kind of borrowing trouble from the future.
What the hell is Richard Rogers thinking? Of course we know there isn't a federal red flag gun seizure law yet, you moron. That's the whole point. We need to get ahead of this as soon as we can. When Biden was in office, we had House H.R. 2377, federal red flag gun seizure law, 145 co-sponsors, and it passed the freaking House quickly before dying the Senate. Right now, the Dems are pushing S-889 today in the Senate. It's got 17 sponsors backing this bill. This is the top agenda for when Democrats take back the Congress. Of course, we know there's no red flag law yet. That's why we have to get ahead of it. For that matter, just so you know, Iowa Democrats in the Senate also have a state-level red flag bill in play right now in Des Moines. So Rogers, after making an ass out of himself and betraying you guys, finishes the betrayal by telling the Senate chamber multiple times to kill the bill that would ban red flag gun seizures in Iowa. Here's his clip.
We urge the Senate to reject this bill in its present form.
A couple of things you should know. So first of all, I contacted Steve Holt, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, who put so much time into pushing this bill through the House, and I asked him, Steve, did the Iowa Firearms Coalition or Richard Rogers ever bring you any problems with this bill on the House side? You want to know what Steve Holt told me? He said he didn't hear a peep from IFC or anybody else. In fact, there was no opposition to this bill in the House subcommittee. He was stunned that IFC's Richard Rogers attacked the bill without ever even talking to him. Second, all the gun control lobbyists laughed the entire way through that committee, as did Chairman Jason Schultz, who sat there in the audience. This entire thing appears to be totally scripted. Opposition from the Iowa Firearms Coalition is what the left and these moderates need to have to kill the bill. Again, usually this is done behind closed doors with no visual proof. That didn't happen this time. So if you're a member of the Iowa Firearms Coalition, you guys have got to get real loud with your lobbyist right now, because he is screwing you over in ways that may have lasting implications. Because third, remember, this could be our last chance to do this for a very long time. This is an election year, as we all know, and a lot of Iowans and a lot of conservatives here in the Capitol expect Randy Feenstra to buy the GOP nomination and then get his ass kicked by Rob Sand. And that could mean 4 years, that could mean 8 years, that could mean more of a Democrat governor at Terrace Hill. I mean, this could be our last chance for years to get this done. And to have a gun rights organization, even if they're old, broke, and a non-factor at election time, to have a gun rights organization attack this bill because they didn't write it is an incredible betrayal to all of us that I hope you'll never forget. Meantime, guys, and again, lastly, it's critical that you all take action right away. Hit that link and tell the committee members, all of them, to pass the bill with no amendments before funnel deadline, or you guys remember their votes in the upcoming primary and general elections. Take action now, guys. Time is of the essence. Much more to come.